The morning she kicked my cabin door open, I was pouring coffee into my father's old enamel mug, the one with the chipped rim and the dent where it fell off his truck the day we raised our family flag. The cup rattled in my hand when the latch snapped, and there she was. HOA Karen, hair sprayed into a helmet, eyes hard as gravel. She didn't knock. She didn't ask. She just marched across my threshold like she owned the valley. That's how it started. Not with a letter or a polite call, not even one of those orange violation tags they like to hang on fences like hunting trophies. No, she brought back up. 2 board members hovered behind her, clutching clipboards like shields. Their breath fogged in the cool mountain air, mixing with the smell of wet pine and cedar. It had rained all night. The logs still held the damp. The creek out back was louder than usual, stones clacking under the water like loose teeth. This structure violates sightline covenants, shoreline access rules, and vehicular approach limits, she declared, voice sharp as broken glass. We can't see the lake path from the road. You've installed a gate. You've blocked community water rights. I didn't answer right away. Just turned off the propane, set the pot down, and folded my hands. That cabin is more than wood and nails to me. It's home. My granddad laid the first log here in 1959. My father drove the last spike. There's a burn mark on the floor from the winter. They almost lost the chimney. Every scuff tells a story. And nobody storms into those stories with a clipboard. What hurts most, finally told her, isn't that you think you can walk in here. It's that you think none of this matters. This flag, this floor, this creek. You think it's just lines on a map? I pointed to the framed photo above the mantel. My father and me, mud up to our knees, post-hole digger in hand, proud as kings. This land isn't a line, I said softly. It's a promise. Save your porch poetry. You were noticed last month? Your cabin is within HOA jurisdiction. We're sending a contractor to remove that gate this afternoon. My pulse spiked, anger first, then disbelief. That gate she wanted gone? My father welded it himself from old barn steel. It keeps trespassers out and the wildlife safe. It's not pretty, but it's honest. Just like him. Just like me. Then I heard a soft creak behind me. The hallway door opened. Karen turned toward the sound, chin lifted to bark another command, and froze. Because the person walking out wasn't me. It was my wife Alina, calm, composed, pulling on her gray sweater, eyes still half drowsy from sleep. Ma'am, she said evenly, this cabin isn't under your association. You're trespassing. Karen blinked. Everyone up here is in our association, she said, though her voice had lost its edge. Alina set her mug down, reached into her pocket, and quietly flipped open a black leather wallet. The badge inside caught the cabin light, gold seal, federal crest. You could have heard the creek outside stop moving. I'm not here in any official capacity, Alina said gently. But since you entered without permission, I'll need you and your board members to step outside, while my husband retrieves the documents that show where your map ends and ours begins. The air changed. Those 2 board members suddenly found their boots very interesting. Karen's confidence drained out of her like air from a tire. We stepped out onto the porch. The mist was curling through the pines, delicate as lace. I pulled the old survey tube from under the bench and rolled out the plat map, the one my dad marked up by hand. His pencil notes were still there, sealed under plastic. Here's your HOA boundary, I said, tracing the heavy line. It stops at Cottonwood Lane, 2 ridges over. This land was never annexed. My grandfather declined in writing in 1973, and the county clerk certified it the next year. That lake trail you're so protective of, it's on the north bank. We're on the south. Private, recorded, paid, maintained. Alina placed another folder down beside it. And your violation notice? It was sent to a parcel number that doesn't exist anymore. County renumbered everything 5 years ago. You're using stale data. It hit her then. That kind of silence that falls when someone realizes their whole argument just slid out from under them. She looked between us, her mouth set tight. Even if the numbers changed, she tried. We still have aesthetic standards for the corridor. The gate, I cut in, is on a private drive. Ask the sheriff or the fire chief. They've both been here. Want me to call them? They love morning coffee. My voice stayed calm, but I could feel the heat behind it. I spread out photos, trash left on the public side of the lake. Broken glass, beer cans, half-burned chairs. Receipts for the dumpsters I rented, volunteer hours logged cleaning the shoreline. When you were busy finding folks for mailbox paint, I was out here hauling garbage out of your community's water. Her clipboard lowered. The mist beaded on her hair. You can't talk to me like a neighbor. Like someone you just barged in on without knocking? Alina squeezed my arm, grounding me. Then she looked at Karen with a calm that could stop a storm. Let's reset, she said. Step 1. Acknowledge you entered private property. Step 2. Retract your order. Step 3. Meet with the county to fix your records. After that, maybe we can all focus on protecting this valley instead of fighting over it.
Nice.
It was an olive branch, and Karen, to her credit, took it. She exhaled, the sound more tired than defiant. Fine, she said. We'll revisit with the county. But that gate stays, I said quietly. And so do the memories behind it. The board members were already halfway to their SUV. Karen hesitated at the steps, eyes drifting toward the mantel inside. That flag, she said softly. Whose is it? My father's, I told her. He brought it home from a funeral. A friend's. They folded it right on this porch. We've kept it here ever since. Never once let it touch the floor. Something shifted in her face, a flicker of understanding. She nodded once and left. 2 days later, a certified letter arrived. The HOA formally retracted the violation, apologized for the misdirected enforcement, requested a meeting to clarify property boundaries for all parties. We held it in the community hall, metal chairs. Burnt coffee, smell of floor polish thick enough to sting your eyes. For 20 minutes, folks south of the ridge let their anger out. Years of fines, threats, and small-town politics came pouring into that room. When they were done, I told our story calmly, fact by fact. Alina spread the maps. The county surveyor confirmed every line. Even the sheriff showed up, stepping forward with his hat in his hands. He said one thing I'll never forget. Rules mean nothing if we forget respect. A door is there to knock on, not to kick through. The board voted right there to fix their parcel index, drop several pending fines, and create a good neighbor committee. They even asked me to join. I said I would, on one condition. We start with cleaning the lake. The motion passed. Karen wrote it down herself, eyes low but steady. A week later, under a gray sky, we all met by that same gate. Me, Alina, the sheriff, a handful of volunteers. And Karen, she didn't come to give orders. She came to work. We picked up trash, old cans, even a half-sunk folding chair. After an hour, the shoreline looked like it used to. Wild, clean, peaceful. When we finished, I opened the gate and waved everyone inside for chili. We ate on the porch, bowls steaming in our hands. Karen stood by the railing, looking at my father's flag through the open door. I grew up with rules, she said quietly. They felt like fences that kept the wolves out. Somewhere along the way, I started using them like weapons. She hesitated. I'm sorry about the door. About that morning. I didn't give a speech. Just nodded. We all learn, I said. By sunset, the lake looked like hammered copper. The kids laughed. The sheriff leaned back in his chair, and the valley finally exhaled. The gate was still there, but it stood open. Everyone could see what it really meant. It wasn't built to keep people out. It was built to keep what mattered safe. Because in the end, this fight was never about property. It was about legacy. about the way a name can live in a hillside, a creek, and a cabin floor. My father used to say, "You don't own land, you borrow it from your children." That night, as I folded the flag and set the enamel mug in the sink, I heard the gate click shut, soft as a sigh. The lake was calm again. And for the first time in years, so was I. Sometimes standing up for what's right means standing alone, till you stand long enough for others to join you. Have you ever faced an HOA like this? Share your story in the comments. I read every one. And if you believe some fights are worth having, hit subscribe and let's stand up together.